call the February LaFourche Parish School Board meeting to order. We'll get started with invocation by Dr. Dennis Eyot and the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
And the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. Merciful and loving God, thank you for allowing us to gather together this evening to serve our beloved school district. Grant us the discernment needed to make the best decisions for all parties, and remind us to always put you at the center of everything we do. We also ask that you hear the special intentions we hold inside of our hearts and grant them according to your will. We ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dean, roll call.
Mr. Wright? Here. Dr. Eyot?
Here.
Ms. Lavin?
Here.
Ms. Concita?
Here.
Ms. Blanton? Here. Ms. Bourgeois?
Here.
Ms. Marlborough?
Here.
Ms. Wells?
Here.
Ms. Sharpenchair?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Item number 2, awards and recognition. Mr. Dean Guidry.
I'm coming. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for that welcome. Hi, my name is Dean Guidry. I am the communication specialist and iPhone photographer for this event. And tonight we are here to kind of celebrate some achievements of students, faculty, staff, and our general public. And tonight we have our elementary director, Miss Ann Hodson, who will read the recipients' names. And you'll come up, take a picture with our superintendent and our newly appointed board president, elected board president, Ms. Tina Babin. Any questions? I'll take a picture. Anybody wants a picture after that? I'll take mine. Feel free. Okay? Let's get it. Okay.
All righty. Our first award is really a big award. This particular student scored a perfect score of 36 on the ACT. And to really put that into context, about 1.3 billion students take the ACT annually. About 3,500 of those students score 36. So if those of you who are mathematicians in the audience can see how amazing that we have a student right here in LaFourche Parish that made this 36. That student is Micah Young from Thibodeau High School.
All right, let me put this around your neck here. So you finished with like 30 minutes left, took a nap. I don't know.
All right. Very great. Awesome. Thank you.
Great job.
The next awards will be recognizing the students who were selected to the Louisiana High School Athletic Association All-Academic Team. These students have to have a grade point average of 3.5 to 3.9, 6 semesters. So the first one goes to Gabriel Fungi, Thibodeau High School Volleyball. Clay Granier, Thibodeau High School Football. Austin Abear, Thibodeau High School Football. Zachary Mims, Thibodeau High School Football. Alyssa Nakin, Thibodeau High School Volleyball. Nathan Richard, Thibodeau High, football. Ian Rodrigue, Thibodeau High, football. Maria Sanchez, Thibodeau High, volleyball. Adam Stevens, Thibodeau High, football. Camden Trosclair, Thibodeau High, football. Gia Con Vu, Thibodeau High School, football. Alrighty, the next student will be recognized. She placed at the FFA State Leadership Development event. She placed second in the state competition. She competed by reciting the CLHS FFA Creed. She had to compete in the most convincing way and answer questions about the FFA Creed. This award goes to Madeline Fossum from Central Lafourche High School. The next student placed at the Louisiana State 4-H Sugar and Seafood Contest. Trey Martinez from Central Lafourche High School, reserve champion sugar dish. Participation in this cooking competition requires any type of dessert, candy, or main dish that contains at least a half cup of sugar. So Trey Martinez. All right, the next couple of awards. These students placed at the Louisiana FFA in 4-H career development events. The first team will recognize was the CLHS 4-H Dairy Cattle Evaluation Team. This team placed first in the state competition and will compete in the National 4-H Dairy Cattle Evaluation in Louisville, Kentucky. Or the World Dairy Expo in Wisconsin in November 2023. The team is made up, again, from Central Lafourche High School and a couple of my former students, Cara Keller, Lila Keller, Hillary Terrio. And Hillary Terrio also had the third highest score in this event. So special congratulations.
Hold on. Paparazzi behind you. All right.
The next recognition goes to the Central Lafourche High School 4-H horse judging team. This team placed second in the state competition, which consisted of evaluating of halter classes, performance classes, a speaking portion, and a written practicum on horses. This team is made up of Tatiana LaBeouf, Alana Lyons, Hillary Terrio, and Lana Verdon.
Oh, okay, got it. You're over-prepared.
Any words, Mr. Martin?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was so ready to go run the board meeting. I forgot about excusing you all. Now listen, we got a really exciting board meeting. I don't want to say. I'm just kidding. Thank you all so much for sharing your gift with us. Thank you for supporting us through athletics, academics, ag, the arts, everything you do as a district without the support of the parents. And so we want to thank you. But thank you, kids, for giving everything that you've done. Both the students and athletes, the student ag, and all the well-rounded stuff you guys do. So go eat in some restaurants, spend some of your hard-earned money, and celebrate a great night with your family. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you for saving me, you know, to walk away.
always has something to say.
I do. Guys, can I address y'all a moment, please? Again, and I'm sorry if it's repetitive, but I gotta tell you, I do appreciate all you guys let us do, all you guys allow us to do with these kids, and allow us to go to this contest, to the shows, and help these kids develop these skills they get. Each one of these kids that compete in these judging events this weekend, this past November and December, they had to speak to a panel of judges and tell them why they did what they did. So they're not only developing skills of evaluation, but speaking in public and speaking to people. You know, I tell them they can tell reasons to me, they tell them to anybody, because you know, I'm pretty rough on them, and they do really, really well. And guys, I know you don't get the recognition and the support sometimes, but I'm telling you, I really do appreciate what you allow us to do and all the support you give us. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
I just have to say that the pride in your face sitting on the sidelines right there is enough recognition that we need. You were beaming as much as the parents were.
Could you tell?
Yeah, so
They
thank
tease
you
me all the
for
time.
what you do.
They tease me all the time. It's like when our kids do well, it's like, where they come from?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Malbar?
Mr. Trish, thank you so much, because I personally feel that a lot of this can't be accomplished without people like you, teachers like you, coaches like the coaches that had these kids in here. And so, and the parents, of course, but without you, a lot of it may not be possible. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I enjoy this. How you say that? You know, you love your work. You don't ever, you love your job. You never work a day in your life. Boss, you didn't hear me say that. I didn't go to work. I love my job. I love my job. You know, and I mean, it's about them kids. When I signed on a long time ago, it's about the kids. What I signed on for. That's why we do what we do. Again, I just appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get out your hair. If I can do something for you, give us a shout.
Thank you. All right, item 3, approval of board consent agenda. A, approval of board consent agenda items. B, minutes of regular board meeting held January 4th, 2023. C, observances in schools. Employee Appreciation Day on March 3rd, 2023. National School Social Worker Week on March 5th through 11th, 2023. Louisiana School Lunch Week and National School Breakfast Week, March 6th through 10th, 2023. Can I get a motion? Motion by Ms. Marion Petita, seconded by Dr. Dennis Gia. Any public comment? Any board comment? If not, we'll vote. Item passes. Item 4, approval of policy and academics committee recommendations as per meeting held January 18th, 2023. Dr. Gia?
This is to approve the 2023-2024 academic calendar. I so move.
Motion by Dr. Gia, seconded by Ms. Val Bourgeois. Mr. Martin, do you want to speak?
Mr. Fields can speak.
Superintendent Martin, President Bavin, and members of the board, each year school districts must adopt a school calendar for the upcoming year. State law mandates a school calendar that must feature a minimum of 63,720 minutes of instructional time. This equates to 360 minutes per day for 177 instructional days. It also mandates 182 working days for teachers. If you would refer to our proposed calendar for the 20 through 24 school year, you will see that it features 65,625 minutes of instructional time at 375 minutes per day for 175 days, which is well above the minimum instructional minutes required. This allows us to bill 5 days of emergency time so that if schools must close due to emergency situations, we have an option to not make up the first 5 days. Please be aware that in the event of school closures beyond the 5 days, holidays could be eliminated at the discretion of the superintendent to meet the minimum number of instructional days. Professional days will once again consist of whole days. There will be a total of 5 professional days beginning on August 3rd and 4th, September 5th, October 10th, and January 16th. The calendar also features 2 teacher record days, one on Monday, August 7th, 2023, and one on Friday, May 24th, 2024. With these days, our teachers will meet the mandated 182 working days. Students' first day of school will be on Tuesday, August 8th, 2023, and the last day of school will be on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. The holiday schedule is coded in pink. Finally, the calendar has been approved by our superintendent, the curriculum committee, that I present for your adoption.
Any public comment? Any board discussion? If not, we'll vote. Item passes. Number 5, approval of business committee recommendations as per meeting held January 18th, 2023. Ms. Petita?
Thank you, Madam President. To approve renewal quotes from Cornwall Bro and to approve the renewal quotes from certain casualty and liability insurance policies that renew in February 2023 as recommended by Cornwall Bro of Norris Insurance Consulting, Inc. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Petita, seconded by Mr. Wright. Any public discussion? Any board comment? If not, we'll vote. Motion passes.
Item B, to approve updated insurance requirements for service providers as recommended by John Norris of Norris Risk Management LLC. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Petita, seconded by Ms. Charpentier. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item C, to approve advertisement for bids on the items needed by the Child Nutrition Department throughout the 2023-2024 school year as need arises in compliance with regulations of the State Department of Education. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Petita, seconded by Mr. Duplantis. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item D, to approve advertisement for bids on the small equipment and large equipment needed by the Child Nutrition Department throughout the 2023-2024 school year as the need arises in compliance with current bid laws. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fertitta, seconded by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Okay, let's vote. Motion passes.
Item E, to authorize advertisement for proposals for external auditing services. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fertitta, seconded by Dr. Giat. Any public comment? Board discussion? Okay, let's vote. Motion carries.
Item F, to approve a proposal received by E-Rate Wide Area Network, WAN, and Internet Access Services. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fertitta, seconded by Ms. Bourgeois. Any public comment? Any board comment, discussion? Okay, let's vote. Motion passes.
Item G, to consider changes to the Lafourche Parish School Board salary schedules as presented by Kenny Delcom, Director of Secondary Education, and take appropriate action. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fertitta, seconded by Ms. Marlboro. Any public comment? Any board discussion? If none, we'll vote. Motion passes. Item 6, approval of Land and Facilities Management Committee recommendations as per meeting held January 18th, 2023. Mr. Duplantis?
Thank you, Madam President. Item A, to accept a change order request for 13 additional days for the contract for the new Thibodeau Middle School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Charpentier. Any public discussion? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item B, to accept the low bid for Hurricane Ida repairs to the St. Charles Elementary School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item C, to accept the most responsible bid for a Hurricane Ida temporary classroom building at St. Charles Elementary School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Marlboro. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item D, to accept a bid received for a campsite lease on Section 16, Township 19 South, Range 23 East, Kings Ridge. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Fertitta. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item E, to accept a bid received for a hunting and fishing lease on Section 16, Township 17 South, Range 22 East, West Delta Farm area. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Fertitta. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item F, to accept change order request for 5 additional days to the contract for the South Lafourche High School permanent renovations repairs. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board comment? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Marlboro?
I want to talk about the days. It's not a big deal. I just want the public to understand 9 times out of 10, it's because of rain. And that contracts and legalities make it where we have to give these days. I just hope I'm on spot with what I'm explaining so people understand when we vote on this, it's because it's rain days.
Good job. Anyone else? Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and vote. Motion passes.
Item G, to accept a change order request for 4 additional days to the contract for the South Lafourche High School permanent renovation repairs. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Bourgeois. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Item H, to accept a change order request for Bayou Blue Elementary School for Hurricane Ida repairs. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Dr. Giat. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Let's vote. Motion passes.
Madam President, I move that we table item I on the recommendation of our FEMA consulting firm, which is All South, related to questions raised regarding the associated costs of the project and FEMA eligibility.
So I have a motion to table item I. Can I get a second to table item I? Ms. Marlboro? Okay. Any discussion? Any public comment? If not, we'll vote to table item I. So it will be an online vote. Motion passes to table item I.
Item J, to accept a change order request for Hurricane Ida permanent repairs, vapor permeable coating system at South Lafourche High School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Charpentier. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Okay, let's vote. Okay, motion passes. Item 7, new business. A, to consider the cooperative endeavor agreement with the state of Louisiana for the 2023 fiscal year, which authorizes Rouge Parish School Board to collect the appropriation approved by the 2022 Louisiana Legislature and to authorize Superintendent Martin to sign all related documents. Before we ask for a motion and or discussion, we're going to go ahead and receive the report and a report from Ms. Ortiz.
The cooperative endeavor agreement presented to you tonight represents our request to the state treasurer to utilize $1,013,961, which was allocated via Act 170 of the 2022 legislative session to offset salary costs for teachers that were incurred back in August of 2022. By adopting the accompanying resolution to the cooperative endeavor agreement, the board would be agreeing to the terms of the agreement and then authorizing Superintendent Martin to sign all the documentation. Once it's approved and signed, we will submit that to the state treasurer for reimbursement.
Thank you very much. Can I give it? Yes, sir.
Just before you go through the motion, I'd like to explain just one thing to the board. There are a lot of local legislators that caused this to happen. This is the last of the money owed to the Rouge Parish School District from the Lake Rackacy settlement. And I would just like to say that if you run into Representative Jerome, Zizarang, Brian Fontenot, and those folks in the state legislature, thank them for this, particularly Z. She's the one that really spearheaded this in the last legislative session. So this will wipe the slate clean in terms of debts owed from Louisiana to the Rouge Parish school system from the Lake Rackacy claim. So a lot of work went into this. Ms. LaFawn was able to sum it up in about 20 words.
Thank you. Thank you guys both very much. Okay, now I need a motion. Can I get a motion? Ms. Bourgeois, seconded by Ms. Fertitta. Ms. Bourgeois, go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to say, how long has this been going on?
Oh, well, that's for Pat. 2010. 13 years.
I just wanted everybody to realize how long it has been.
Yes, Ms. Fertitta.
Would it be appropriate for us to send as a board a thank you note to the two people of the legislature?
I only mentioned
Those
Mr.
two.
Fontenot because he's here. There were other people, so let me look into who were the most. I can write them on you guys' behalf and get you all signed.
That would be great. I think they need to get some good kudos for all the change. Yes,
That's a great idea. Thank you. Anyone else?
Gary Smith.
Gary
Thank you,
Smith, yeah.
Yes.
So we have a first and a second. We need to go ahead and we need to. Oh, I'm so sorry. Public comment. I apologize. Please approach, state your name and your address. I apologize.
Sharon Knockham, Fairway Drive. I was just wondering in those 10 years if we got interest.
Oh, that's a good question.
We got a little bit. We got the state rate on oil and gas minerals. So they paid us a little bit, but not anything that.
Not the interest we have now.
A lot more than that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Anyone else? Any board discussion? Other board discussion, I should say. All right. If not, we'll go ahead and vote. Item passes. Item B, to consider approving a request from St. Mary's Nativity School waiving the rental fees for the use of Central Lafourche High School track for track and field practices. I have a motion by Ms. Fertitta, second by Ms. Wells. Any public discussion?
I'm Caitlin Bacon, 16 Elm Drive.
Please approach.
We're gonna get you on film.
Yes, thank you.
Our principal couldn't make it here tonight, but I'm here to represent St. Mary's Nativity School. We're requesting that you allow us to use the facilities at Central Lafourche High School for our track and field practice.
We are working closely with the athletic director when scheduling these practices, and we're also requesting that you waive fees that we cannot afford at this time. This is a brand-new program that we are getting started. We came to the Land and Facility Board last year and requested usage of the Raceland Gym for our volleyball practices and the waivers, and the board approved that, and we do thank them for that and hope you'll consider this request.
And I want to apologize. I didn't realize you were here to speak on the item. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Kind of like,
Not at all.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other public comment? Okay. Board discussion, Ms. Fertitta?
I just want to know how many times that's going to happen.
So the request is to use it 4 or 5 times, about that amount for practices, and I believe potentially a meet. They're going to deconflict the times with the athletic director and the principal to ensure that their usage of it doesn't interfere with either Central Approach, Lockport Middle, Raceland Middle, or Bio Blues use of it. It is a very well-trafficked track, but we do believe that there is enough time to accommodate the request.
Dr. Dion?
Thank you. Do we know about how many athletes we're talking about?
We don't have an exact number yet. About 40.
Yeah, so being involved in track and field at the Thibodeau site, it's used by multiple schools and it's typically worked and accommodated. So I'm sure it shouldn't be an issue to meet that request and meet the needs of the students in the area. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. If not, we'll vote. Okay, motion passes. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. All right. Item C, to receive an update from Mr. Barry Fields regarding the pupil progression plan, state addendum, and take appropriate action. So before we ask for motion or discussion, we'll go ahead and receive our update. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, President Barry. Last summer, the board approved our annual pupil progression plan for the 22-23 school year. And recently, the state has required us to make an addendum to that plan, and it has to do with literacy support standards for 3rd and 4th graders. It's going to require students that score below grade level on approved literacy assessments to receive an additional 30 hours of literacy instruction in the summertime. There are some other stipulations as well, but that's pretty much the bulk of that requirement that we need to add to our pupil progression plan.
Can I have a motion? Motion by Ms. Charpentier, second by Ms. Fertitta. Okay. Any public comment? Any board discussion or questions? Ms. Fertitta?
Yes, okay. I'm glad that we have our summer academy, so that our summer camp, so that our students can do that. Will it be mandatory for those students who scored below? Okay, so it will be mandatory for the first graders.
Are we talking about the 30 hours?
Correct, for the 30 hours. Will the summer camp be mandatory for those students?
The 30 hours would be
Okay.
the entirety of the camp would not be.
Okay.
You may recall, 20 years ago when you were relegated to attend summer school, you had to go and have a certain, I frankly don't have an appetite for that right now. So as long as they satisfy the 30 hours, we'll consider that enough. We're going to encourage the parents who fall into this category to enroll their children in the summer academy to meet those 30 hours.
What happens to them if they don't go?
The school and the school building level committee will have to make a decision as it relates to the retention or promotion of that child. So that the school still retains a lot of the authority in determining child by child what happens based on their participation. They may be retained or they may be promoted. The state did not paint this into a corner with the words shall as it relates to retention or promotion relative to the participation in that program.
I'm glad we have our summer camp, though, because that gives us a perfect stage to take care of these students.
Yeah.
Dr. Dion?
So just did they stipulate an exact time frame? Meaning, so let's say we're at the end of the 9 weeks, and obviously we're getting to the end of school. There may be some time involved that these students could obviously be exposed to some of those hours before the actual summer starts. So do we have flexibility to manage that? Obviously, we're in a mode of shutting down, but possibly trying to get some students some hours.
I think there are a lot of ways that this could be addressed. This year, because we know we have the summer academy that's being funded by ESSER, I think that that's the easiest way to approach this. Going forward, we're going to have to send to the curriculum committee, the academics team, a full review of how we want to best approach this. I think this year the most logical approach is to highly encourage participation in the summer academy, and then in the following year, should this be continued, we may have to take an all-hands-on-deck approach in terms of maybe after school, during school, push in and pull out programs to get the required remediation.
That was kind of my comment and question too, because these are the students that score below only on the end of the year test. Correct, on me. It's not gibbles or.
Well, and look, what's about to happen is the state is about to revamp the literacy assessment, which will be DIBELS. I apologize, it is DIBELS, but the state, and I don't want to prolong this conversation, but the state is about to adopt a literacy screener for grades K-3. Once that is adopted, and it will be something akin to DIBELS, this entire process is going to be redone. So I believe this is the first attempt at establishing a statewide expectation grades K-3 for addressing students that aren't reading on level.
Yeah, that's what my head does.
Yes, ma'am. 100%.
Barbara?
Question. Does this include our 1508 and 504 kids as well?
It does. It speaks specifically to that, Ms. Smallburn. In fact, a 1508 child may be excluded from this requirement should the IEP team deem it appropriate to do so.
Any further board discussion? Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and vote. That motion carries. All right, item 8, memorial resolutions. A, Carmen Calais, retired teacher. Ms. Charpentier.
Ms. Carmen Calais was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District on January 23rd, 1967 as a teacher at South Lafourche High School. She retired on December 20th, 2004, having served Lafourche Parish for 27.5 years. Ms. Carmen Calais was known by most people as Miss Connie. She was a complete jewel. No matter what angle you saw her from, she was cherished by so many people from the Down the Bayou area. She dedicated her entire life to her faith, the education system, to kids, and to her family. In addition to teaching, she was the swim team coach for the school and for the Cudahy Center, I believe, and led a group of ladies that did morning aerobics at the pool called the Chunky Dunkers. She also was the leader of the Bayou Bell Ringers, which was a bell choir, which was an absolute amazing group that put together these beautiful concerts. And she's definitely going to be missed. She served our education system very well.
B, Ms. Melba Chasson, retired paraprofessional. Ms. Fertitta.
Ms. Melba Chasson was hired by Lafourche Parish School District on February 18, 1991 at Thibodeau Elementary School. She retired on December 20th, 2013. Ms. Chasson served Lafourche Parish for a total of 22.5 years. And she was affectionately known as Granny. And all of the students and teachers just adore her, and all the people in the Thibodeau community knew her as Granny. Served our school well.
Thank you very much.
So Miss Melba was my aunt's sister, so I knew her since I was a child. And if you look in her obituary at the end, it even says like in lieu of donations to donate to Lafourche Parish School.
So very nice. Harold Martinez, retired bus driver. Dr. Dia.
Mr. Harold Martinez was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District on August 31st, 1964, as a bus driver. He retired June 1st, 1988, having served the Lafourche Parish School District for 23 years.
I move that these resolutions be adopted by general consent and that a copy of the resolutions be recorded on our special page of our minute book.
With no objections, let the record reflect that these resolutions were adopted by general consent and will be recorded on a special page of our minute book. Item 9, tentative dates of future meetings. A, Policy and Academics Committee, Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. Business Committee, Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. Land and Facilities Management Committee, Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. And the regular board meeting, Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. Item 10, executive session. A, to consider going into executive session pursuant to the provisions of Louisiana Revised Statute 4217-7 for the following purpose. To consider the findings of the superintendent regarding a student expulsion appeal pursuant to the Lafourche Parish School Board Policy, JDE. Can I get a motion? Okay. Motion by Mr. Duplantis. Can I get a second? Second, Dr. Guillaume. Okay. We will now, we need to vote. Okay. Motion passes to enter executive session. We will now. Coming back.